We walk back inside the courtyard of the Institute where Joanna Wong and Chrissy Nguyen from the Enoki Collective based here in Paris have prepared a degustation of oysters and kimchi. So oysters and kimchi are really interesting for the reason that they also shed light on the relationship between viruses and other microbes and human health, including environmental health. So currently, oysters are being used as biosensors in aquatic ecosystems. So oysters are filter feeders. They not only draw in food, however, they also draw in microbial life, including viruses. So that includes viruses that are harmful, like norovirus. So viruses, therefore, can have increased concentration of particular pathogens. So this is important, of course, for human safety, but it also means that we can learn a lot from oysters in terms of the spread of viruses within specific environments. So there we have the two artistic activities, which I think offer an opportunity to extend our perspective beyond necessarily the laboratory or the microscope in how we understand viruses and microbial life to other more artistic and perhaps experimental modes through which we might imagine symbiosis and relations, including relations with microscopic agents.
Going along with the story of fish designer, actually in 2025, what we already know about this human-virus relationship, oysters are one of the key components in there as well. So I happen to be closely working with a neurovirologist. So Miranda de Graaf, she mainly studied about norovirus. And oysters has always been in our conversations because I guess do any one of you have the experience of you ate some oysters and the next day or that day you end up in the toilet, puking and having diarrhea. So you probably all, some of you have, right? So Miranda told me that they actually use the oysters for surveillance of the norovirus in the water. And why is that? Because like what we know about coronavirus, they bind to a certain sugar or proteins on the cell, and then it opens the cell. Norovirus has a similar mechanisms that it binds to certain sugars, and they would attach much better. The oysters have those sugars that can attach to the norovirus so efficiently that by sitting in the water, it actually collects the norovirus. So it's like an amazing biological norovirus collector. So now we're gonna lead to the wonderful Joe and Christy, who prepared the oyster here today and as a medium for us to discuss about human and oysters and the oyster farming.
Yeah,
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Faye. Don't hesitate to come closer because you're gonna taste something anyway.
They are alive, but they won't eat you, right?
Yeah. So don't hesitate to start to take a look at that already. So I'm Joanna and Christy here. We are from the Enoki Collective. We are an art collective based in Paris. We use food, cooking, and cuisine really as a medium to do cultural mediation. And we're also curators. A few years ago, we also worked with a researcher who was in residency here. And we do curatorial project, and we also have a series of book. So it's a kind of dinner conference. For example, we always mix researcher, farmers, cook, and artists. So we invite them to have a dinner under a certain theme. And each dinner becomes a book. So it's a kind of dinner conference. The last one is a collaboration with UNESCO on food utopia. And this is about grain. So I do have a few copies here if you would like to have them. It would be free if it's related to your research topic. And so the menu we propose today is, of course, as a mean to foster the discussions. And so it's oysters, ethical oysters. So who really love oysters here? Who think they really know? Yeah, so a lot
I
of...
love oysters, but I don't love eating them.
Okay. You love caressing them?
Huh?
Play with them?
Just like looking at them.
Looking at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people who love eating oysters, can I just see them? I'm sure a lot of English-speaking people get here. So for people who are from English-speaking countries, you know the rules of not only eating oysters in our month, right? So winter. Because when in summer they reproduce and they become milky, but there are also a lot of industrial way to make them not milky. So because usually when the tourists will love to eat oyster in a very French context will be, okay, I'm in Brittany, I'm swimming with my kids, and I'm having a glass of white, and I want my oysters, which is not actually the season to have oysters. So a lot of modification of genes, making them not reproductive, no problems of being milky. And the unethical oysters, well, in the French context, is also involved in a lot of cheating. So anyone knows about how, when I say unethical oysters, these are ethical oysters. You have any idea what are unethical oysters or how do they cheat? The French-speaking gets here, can I just, okay, people from France, yeah. So you know we have the system of AOP, AOC, and the oysters here, you have a similar for oysters like IGP, donc géographique protégé. Oh, they're also interested. Cool. So your guess. Right. But so that means a part of the production needs to be in a certain territory to be, okay, oyster from Normandy or an oyster from Brittany. But you may also cheat by when the baby oysters, you can also bring the baby oyster to Morocco, to Ireland, and to Spain where the labor is cheaper. And then when it's almost ready, you put them back into French water. So the oyster we prepared today is from Brittany traditional ethical oyster farm. And we prepared 2 different clementine kimchi. So sweet, savory. And this one is spicier and this one is less spicy. So maybe we can start to just try. Maybe you can keep the shell if you would like to try the other kimchi, because the date of fermentation are different. So yeah. Christy, you would like to say something? Yeah. Voila. But I'm here also for if you have any questions.